Hello, this is Lady Calamere. I welcome you to my channel. I am doing my 159th video. This presentation will be on Pan, also called Pan here. So the Greek word for him was usually called Panos, but everyone knows him as Pan. I'm going to say Pan instead of Pan. So, who was he? Some of you may know the character Peter Pan, in which Peter Pan was pretty much based off of the god Pan. He also became synonymous with the Christian devil, even though in the Bible there is no description of the devil especially looking like Pan. And we'll get into that, why they did that. Pan has he's misrepresented by some neo-pagans as he's just this fun-loving god playing tricks and just partying and having sex. And yeah, that's one part of him, but he does have a dark nature that they forget. A very dark nature. Some gods have more of a dark nature than others. Some of them don't have a dark nature. Some of them don't have a light nature. Some of them have more of a light nature than others. But Pan, he could be in a very playful mood, but then he can get in a raucous mood, a very temperamental mood, and he can also be destructive when he wants to be, or when he's angered. So Pan, the god, the spirit, the deity of nature, of the forest, of the wilderness, of animals and the lust. Really? You guys are already going to start. Well, they were tripping me when I was trying to put everything together. Pan, the great god, is later on by some neo-pagans said to be the great horned god. Others don't see him that way. Pan has different parentages depending on the different hymns and stories and what area of Greece you were from back then. In one story, he is the son of Zeus, Zeus, as we would say, as was said in Greece. Not we say, but as they would say, Zeus. So, and that's not like in most of the stories. Usually the stories is that he's the son of Hermes, which we call Hermes here, and his mother is different depending. So like if you got the Homeric hymn to Pan, he's the son of Hermes and Dryopos. I hope I'm saying that word, Dryopos. So if you're looking at Herodotus, he's Hermes. His father is Hermes and Penelope. If you're looking at, say, Plato, Critolus, Hermes, but no mother is mentioned. It could be just any other nymph. I mean, you have his also, according to Apollodorus, did I say this? His father is Hermes and the mother Thrymbris. Other sources say it's Hermes and Sose, Hermes and Callisto, Hermes and Orneos. Now, there is even the elder Pan. Thank you for that, Ron. Your little tricks. You little trickster. So Pan, hi, is older than that and said to be older or around the times of the Titans or even older than that and even self-formed or just evolved from chaos, comes from the chaos. So I think Pawn likes it that way. He is originally originated from Arcadia. Arcadia in ancient Greece was the backwaters, was the backwoods, and was more uncivilized and wild. It wasn't like Athens. It wasn't like other parts of Greece. This was the backwater, the backwoods. And that was his main place. You really want to start playing fetch. Oh, and do me a favor, keep Loki Lawfulson in your prayers. He's on antibiotic. He has a UTI. Hopefully this antibiotic will work and we can get him onto the road to recovery. So it looks like it's working. He's not going to the bathroom as much. He kept on going every minute or two to pee. So it was, and he was looking himself. But he's a good boy. He didn't pee on anything I owned. So Pawn is, he is like our untamed libido. He is like the primal nature. He is raw. He is sexual. He's a god of fertility and sex. He's a god of laughter and tricks. He's a god of jokes and parties. He's a god of unbridled sex. In fact, in modern times, he has now become the patron of the LGBTQ. He's become the patron of gay sex. Pawn, his instrument is the syrinx or the Pawn pipes. He doesn't wield weapons. He doesn't need to. He can use his pipes to bring people. He can use his pipes to hypnotize, to do like almost like music. You know how they say calm the beavers? This way, he uses it to attract. But he has a screech and a yell that instills panic into those he wants to. And when the Olympians were fighting the Titans, Pawn went on the side of the Olympians and used his screech to instill panic. Where do you think we get the word panic from? Panic attacks, panic episodes. Panic comes from the word pawn. He instills fear and dread, even to the point of such fear that you can have a heart attack. Fear so bad that you can end up having a psychiatric meltdown. Fear so bad that you can commit suicide or have his enemies jump right off the cliff. We're talking from mild to major fear he can instill. He is no trivial woodland spirit. This is regardless of his parentage, he is a god of great and tremendous pasture. Panos comes from several things as mean all. Pan means all, like Pangea, the all land, pandemic, all epidemic all around the world, Pan means all. But also, Pan also derives his name from Paon, pasture. He is a fertility god. The Lord, he is the god of shepherds and of wild animals. Speaking of shepherds, it was he that taught the shepherds how to masturbate. So he's a god of masturbation. He's a god of self-pleasure. He's pretty much a god that will fuck anything with a hole. And, you know, we're not talking about, you know, having sex with children. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't you know, no. Just no. You leave children alone. People need to not sexualize their children. Leave them alone. They don't even, some of them want to be in the LGBTQP, call it P for pedophile. Hell no. You're not a sexual orientation. You're a deviant and evil. But anyways, Pan will have sex with men, women, goats. He's pansexual. If this bothers you, then maybe you should not be watching this video. Maybe you should not be watching this presentation. I leave it to your discretion. Pan has inspired so many books, movies, poems, hymns, ancient and modern. You got, like, even the occult novel by Dion Fortunes, the goat foot god. You have a book, an 1890 novella called The Great God Pan. Pan is pretty popular in neo-paganism and in Wicca. The worst time to call him is around noontime. Do not call him around noontime or lunchtime. I would not call him during noontime or solar noontime. This is a time when he likes to not be bothered, and I would just do it on your time of noontime. Do not call him. Do not wake him. Do not bother him. He is said to have a ferocious attitude, and he's pretty much a wild bear when you wake him up. He doesn't like being woken up by humans or other gods. When he sleeps, he likes to sleep. Do not petition Pan for anything near lunchtime. He likes his naps. He's a cranky god when you wake him up. Even to the point of being a bastard. He doesn't care. His animals are goats. The crystals that are good to associate as stones and crystals with him are really shadow, moss agate, tree agates, and dendritic agates are great to connect with Pan. His scents would be resinous scents. I wouldn't use real musk, but that's just me because it will hurt an animal. But a musky incense, pine, coniferous, woodsy incense. So amber resin to burn would be a great one for him. Rue, especially rue in itself, rue herb, rue incense, those are good for him, to use for him. Some people use patchouli. That's fine. Patchouli works for Pon too. So we're thinking of some like really thick, deep incense for him that is like really woodsy and wild. Even cypress works for him. Pine is definitely his tree, the pine tree, Pine. So pine is also a good scent for him. Any type of pine, fir, balsam, pine. So those are the oils that you want to get. An oil blend that smells like musk, that you can use pure essential oils to make it smell just like musk. Blend it up. Or ambergris, or you can make up your own blend that smells like ambergris. Look up the recipe for it. Ambergris is good scent for him. So Pon had so many altars. There's one, if he likes you, he'll show you his sacred place. It's a cave on a mountain, and it's surrounded by mist, and he'll open the mist and let you see. So he had, his temples were, a lot of them were like outdoor altars or in caves or in grottos. So even when the pagan temples were closed officially, you know, people would just go to their sacred grottos and caves and meet in secret and worship him. Ah, the Christian devil. How did he become the Christian devil? Well, the Christians always need their devil, don't they? You know, the devil keeps the church in business. The devil brings in good money for the churches. Beware of the devil. The devil this, the devil that, or the devil could be, even if they don't even believe in him as a being, the devil within you, the devil in I, the devil in you, the devil in all of us. Gotta watch out for that trisky, pesky devil. Well, we got this beast and man. He has a ferocious attitude, and all he does is teaches masturbation and sex and freedom. He teaches parties, and he likes to drink, and he likes to play with himself, and he'll fuck anything. He's the god of wilderness, and what do they see in the wilderness, the Christians? Devils and demons and evil spirits and Satan. The goat. Ooh, wow. If we look at the woman's reproductive system, well, we got the goat there. Ooh, women are evil. We got the pubic hair for the beard. And if you look at the, seriously, the uterus for the face, and you see the fallopian tube ovaries, that's the horns. And in some Christian schools, they were teaching, well, that's why women have original, that has the sin, because we have the goat in us. I kid you not. You can't make this shit up. So Pon is now the devil. The god of wilderness. He's not the god of civility. He's not the god of chasteness. He's everything the Christians hate. So he became the image of the devil, and later on, even Baphomet wasn't originally have a goat head, but you know, it was later on attributed to him. And then you have the goat of Mendes from Egypt, and hey, we got ourselves our Satan. Mew Mew, you know better. Sir Mew Mew, get down. Come here. Good boy. You were going to destroy Baphomet. What did Baphomet ever do to you? Baphomet, I don't care. So, Pawn has offspring. Did you know that? Yep. He has his offspring. So, really, you're gonna do this to me, Cat. It's not time for food, so stop looking at your food bowl. My God. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, offspring. He's pointing at his bowl like doing this. Like, excuse me. Look, they're all around me. Am I gonna die or something? I got Shadow next to me. I got Lady Boss. I got Loki over there. I got Miss Kitty here. I got one by the bowl, putting his foot in it. So his children, his offsprings. Depending on the stories, he's got the Panes. He has Akis by another nymph. He has the child Krotos. He has Selene. I can't pronounce his name. Selenos, I believe, by Malia. He has a bunch of children. Apparently, they want food. You know, it's a little bit too early. You've been snacking before dinner. You've been eating Shadow's wet food. I guess that doesn't count as food to them. So, Pawn, depending on stories. Okay, so his mother, and all the times when or his nurse, when they saw the look of Pawn when he was born, half human, half goat, with a full beard and horns and shaggy legs and cloven hooves, she ran in fear and abandoned him. Hermes, usually, most stories, he was very happy with his child. He was proud. He was a proud papa. He brought him to Olympus, and which the gods saw him, and he was a delight of all. But later on, he leaves Olympus because I think some of them were just so put off by him, by his sexual, lusty nature and his wild man ways and his outback ways. He's like one of those people that live in the swamps or in the woods with their gun and I'm not gonna say against a fork on a ship. I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm just saying he's there with party attitude, yeehaw, and so he leaves Olympus. He prefers the wild wilderness anyways. He prefers Arcadia anyways. Pan is a liminal god. He lives at the boundaries. He lives at the corners. It's like he lives between the worlds. Pan prefers fields, groves, mountains, wilderness, the forests, and caves. Pan, if he's in the city, he would prefer the parks, like New York City Central Park. That's where he can be found. Time to feed the babies because we got issues here. Loki dokie, people are going to be praying for you. Come on. Why not? Oh, I got to open another bag. I'm not going to do this right now. You're going to get what you're going to get, and then you'll get more later, okay? You'll get more within an hour. You spoiled kitties. So pond should never be, as some people feel, is pond dangerous? If you evoke, why do you do this? Why? Really, really, really. So pond should not be just, if you call him, understand that he has this energy about him, this raw energy. So if you call him, what are you going to do with it? Are you just calling him? Or because he has this energy that can make you kind of hyper and crazy. So unless you're directing it, unless you have a purpose, don't call him in jest. So don't call him, never summon him around noontime. There is a famous call to pond using the pond pipes or even a flute. And so there are different notes. You can look it up on how to do it. I don't have no sheet. I'm not a musician, okay? I don't know how to play an instrument really to save my life. Maybe some drumming, but even that I'm not the greatest. It's just for my own use. But it does work. I heard people using it, and if you really need his aid, I would call him. It's described almost like spiritually radioactive. So if you just call him in jest and not being respectful, this energy, this radioactive wild energy, can cause havoc. Children seem to get on Pond's good side. He's got sometimes the playful behaviors of a child. He's like this hyperactive child. But he also reminds me of a hyperactive hormonal teen. He doesn't like it when nature is being trashed, when nature is disregarded. This angers Pond. This upsets Pond. When people just desecrate the forest. He also gets around with the fairies, the fae folk, and other nature spirits, the nature devas. He hangs out with nymphs and all sorts of spirits, and the spirits of the wilderness. He hangs out with Dionysius. They get along, which we call Dionysus here. Dionysius. Hermes is his father. He gets along with him very well. Priapus is another one. His animal, of course, is the goat. What you doing? Oh, hey, don't be scared. That's just a car backfiring. It's okay, baby. It's okay. His season is definitely spring. One of his full moons is definitely an October full moon, which is also called Pond's moon, also blood moon, also lover's moon. So that's a great time to really honor him too. Pond also gets along with Demeter, which is we call him Demeter here. So he actually had a shrine there. So Pond, how did he get the pond pipes? Well, the nymphs he would always chase, but they would always run away from him because they thought he was ugly. And he'd always try to catch one and have sex, but he couldn't. One day saw the Syrinx, and he chased her and chased her until she came by these reeds, and she begged the nymphs to help her to change her, and they did. Right before he caught her, she turned into these reeds, and all he grasped was reeds, and he sighed into it. And it said the reason why he chased her is because Eros had nothing better to do and shot him with an arrow of love, but not the nymph with love. And so he became enamored with her. But he realized it made music. So he grabbed some reeds and made a different size. And he put them together, and now he has the pan flutes, the pan pipes, the syrinx, which he would play, and the nymphs would come around, and they would love the music. And it was so beautiful and so hauntingly beautiful. So that's what he does. He has sex with nymphs. He has sex with satyrs, and some satyrs are female. He hangs out with, come on, with other different mystical beasts. I'm trying to think of the mystical beasts, the half horse and half human. He has sex with other goats. He even had sex with many of the goddesses. He swore he would have sex with all the nymphs. One time he had a thing for Selene, the moon, Selene, how we call her here. She wanted nothing to do with it. So one day he saw her riding above in her chariot, so he covered his legs and he seduced her. So he had sex with the moon. So you gotta understand, this god, if you're wanting to have a successful date, or you want fertility for your animals or for yourself, Pond is your man. So Pond, when he comes to you, if he sits at your side but doesn't look directly in your face, it means you're not ready to see yourself for who you are. You're not ready for the full-on experience. But if he comes to you and looks directly in your eyes, you're ready to see yourself for who you are. That's just one of the stories. And I worked with Pond, and he had sometimes come to me on my side, and then there's one day we were just looking in each other's eyes. Pond is deeply desired. At one time he was considered ugly, and now pagans were like, I really hope to invoke him and have sex with him in my spirit work, my spiritual work, or in the astral, or in my dreams. People call them Pond into themselves and then have sex with their partner. Yeah, so he's pretty much a wild god. There's a mistaken belief that Pan can only be summoned in ritual by an adept, which is bullshit. Complete false. Fallacy of that. There was a story about him and Echo spurned him, and how now she's in one story it's with dealing with Pan, how she can only repeat the last word of what someone says. That's where we get the word echo. Now, hunters in Arcadia, what they would do is, because he helped people with hunt, because hunting meant food, hunting meant clothing, hunting meant, tools to be used. So they would offer, and a good trump for they would petition him, and when they were successful, they offered him trophies like the skins, the heads, but sometimes the meat. But if the hunt was bad, they would get mad at Pan and take a whip and scourge his image, demanding that he give them luck next time. It was Pan who actually taught Apollo, the art and the practice of prophecy. He even gave Artemis her first hunting hounds. So he gifted her with her hounds of hunt. So this god deals with the hunt. So if you're hunting, not to hurt animals just for a trophy. I'm gonna go hunting to see how many animals I can kill. Well, I'm gonna put a gun there and I'm gonna sit in my home and shoot an animal remotely because it's fun to kill. I mean, that's pretty fucked up, man. But if you're going out to hunt for your meat, and you can sell the hides and maybe have a nice trophy for your wall, but you're eating the animal and not letting the flesh go to rot, Pan can help you out with it. I don't hunt. I would rather hunt with my camera. I don't hunt with a gun. Okay? I find that disrespectful, and I find that just taking a life for fun is still taking a life. I don't find it fun to kill animals for fun. I don't find that humorous. Why not just go in your video game and just hunt zombies or something, or do some deer hunt or something on your video game and not kill an animal? I can't understand it. I can't understand killing for pleasure. It never made sense to me, ever. Why would you kill an animal? Why don't you, if you don't want the meat, give it to your neighbor? Ask your neighbor, I'm going hunting. Do you want the animal? You can even charge a nominal fee for it, instead of letting the animal go to fucking rot for your damn pleasure. Shooting birds for fun, shooting deer, shooting whatever for fun. I don't find animal cruelty fun. I don't think it's a sport. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it makes you more macho. I think it makes you a piece of shit. Hey, I said it. So hunt for need, not for I'm gonna get my racks off today. I swear, if there was a zombie apocalypse, I hope the zombies tear people like that apart. It's fun. I'm so bad. Yeah, I said it. Anyways, off my thing. So he's a god of his favorite people. He's a god of hunters. He's a god of shepherds. He's a God of those who are free spirits. Oh, I thought that was my cat. There's children outside. Well, God, no, this God does love playgrounds and children. He loves to play. This guy loves games. He loves toys. He loves to drink. He loves to dance and party. In fact, God loves the drums and the flutes. He loves people dancing around a fire pit. He loves music. Music entices the wild beast here. Pan is another thing. Another aspect of him is that I've known thieves, literally thieves. I've talked to thieves. Said, hey, Pan helped me steal. Oh, okay. You get caught? No, Pan helped me. So, hey, whatever. There are people I talked to that actually said that. No, I'm not going to pass judgment. I just listen. Okay. What are you stealing? Oh, I'm stealing food. Oh, okay. Uh, I'm not gonna narc. I'm not gonna. Hey, officer, someone told me they love to steal. Oh, all right, whatever. Pan loves bars. He loves the drinking. He loves party halls. He loves food. He really loves to eat. He loves to sleep, loves to have sex, loves to dance, loves music, loves party, loves to eat. This is the type of God he is. He's the goat man. He's the wild man. He's the he's like how can I say it? The mountain man. So the less inhabited it is, the better he likes it. And we're talking about parts like we would see in Russia, still Arcadia, parts of even parts of America, where it's the backwoods. Parts of Alaska. I mean, Alaska's part of America, but there's parts of Alaska. The wild frontier is his. It is said that he can cause panic. His unseen presence aroused panic, even in deities and people who traversed his boundaries, his realm. So, Pan loved to play his panpipes, and one of the nymphs he came after that fled his advances was a nymph named Pitys, 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 and she fled his advances, and she was transformed into a mountain pine tree, which is Pan's sacred grove. So Pan chased Echo when she was cursed to fade away for spurning the god. So you see some darker aspect of him, leaving behind just a voice to repeat his name. Or other names, like hello, and hello, hello, hello. How are you? You. So Echo. Pan has the attitude of laissez-faire sometimes. He's the creature I was thinking was a centaur. That's what I was thinking until I was distracted by the cats. The horse, half man, half horse. So his astrological sign that he falls under is Capricorn. Capricorn. His planetary power is Earth. Capricorn, and Earth. So his he was also rewarded by he was also praised and rewarded by Zeus, because when Typhon, the battle of Typhon, when Typhon ripped out the tendons of the great god, it was Pan that retrieved the tendons and gave it to Zeus, which Pan was very, I mean, Zeus, the god, was very happy with Pan. He gave the god's tendons back, and his, so he could put them back, so he can walk so right again. When his tendons were ripped out, so go figure. So Pan is very proud of his music. So you can use a flute with him, as well as the syrinx if you can find it, the Pan pipes. So there was also a story with Pan and Apollonos, and Pan said that his music was so great that he jokingly just dared to challenge the sun god Apollonos, and there was a contest where Apollonos played his lyre. First Pan played the pipes, and then Apollonos played his lyre, and everyone chose Apollonos except for King Midas, because King Midas became a friend of Pan. And Apollonos was very angry at King Midas. So what did he do to Midas? Well, he says that maybe you need better ears to hear my good music. And he gave King Midas the ears of a jackass, a donkey. So he was punished and cursed by Apollonos for that. So colors to use for Pan. I would use all different shades of green. I would use brown to represent dirt. Greens. Blue greens. I know some people would use black to represent the deep darkness of the forest. Pan can help you with your virility, especially if you're facing erectile dysfunction again. See a doctor, but he can help you with that. He can help you to learn how to let loose. He can help you make a good party. Pan has been used for different things, like they used him for healing. People have called him for financial reasons. People call him for a variety of things. Some offerings to Pan that he would pretty much appreciate is milk. Milk, any type of milk, goat milk, cow's milk. He would like fruits, grapes, booze, beer, mead, wine, honey, erotic images, musical instruments like air instruments, but even drums. Cake, candy, sugary sweets, cookies, cupcake muffins, pies, fruits, fresh and dried, chocolate, different types of nuts like pine nuts, especially pine nuts, walnuts, peanuts, veget, broccoli is a good idea. Put some, you can give them some of that because it looks like little trees. I never gave him broccoli though, but I've known people that have and made him like cook it up and give it to him. And like stuffed grape leaves, feta cheese, but in cheese in general is a good idea for him. All different types of candies and baked goodies that your dentist would say no to. But the colors I would definitely use is all different types of green and brown. So Pan deals with our inner wild man and woman. It's like that song, Born to be Wild, like a true nature's child. I'm born to be wild. It's basically being free and not giving a fuck. Who gives a shit about responsibilities? I just want to go take my clothes off and dance in the forest with wild abandon and let my hair loose. He's a god of not giving a fuck. As far as my ex was pushing that, oh, he's a god who doesn't demand to be worshipped. There's sometimes he did ask for worship, but when the gods were fighting about the humans not worshiping him, and he was, at noontime, God was sleeping. He's told the gods, shut the STFU, I'm trying to sleep here. I don't want to be bothered. Yeah, so at that time, yeah, he didn't want to be bothered. So the Greeks, during the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks credited their great god Pan with causing the Persians to flee in a panic, in absolute terror during the Battle of Marathon, because they asked Pan to help so he can help during wartime. And his weapon is fear. His weapon is to instill fear and panic into the enemy. It's a reaction caused by his scream and shouts. So he doesn't have a need for conventional weapons. He has his voice. And so the Persians went fleeing in pure sheer terror. And which, you know, of course, Pon was like, hey, worship me. Remember that. Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, he does like worship. Sorry to my ex. Oh, not sorry. You're a dummy. But Pon swore to have sex with every Maenad. Maenad. And he kept his word. Every single one. He's God of music. He loves music. He loves ecstatic music. Some of the drummings and stuff. Can we say heavy metal? Metal, the more wild and ecstatic it is. He like, especially, you know, songs about sex and freedom and not giving a fuck. It says that Pon even seduced Aphrodite in some stories. That he even seduced her. He's a great seductor. He can seduce, I mean, seducer, not seductor, seducer. So, like I said, he's most likely seen in the twilights at the edges of different woods and forests, in at the corner of your eye, the very corner of your eye. That's where he could be seen. Pon. What else do I want to talk about him? Ooh, I want to get my Kindle because I want to show you what book that you might be interested in on Pon. And I only have them in Kindle form. Ugh. And while I'm here, Pon loves animals. He really does. Pon cares for the domestic animal as well as the wild animal. And Michelle's like, Yep, he cares about you. To abuse an animal is an insult to Pon. It's a bad insult to Pon. So, let me get my. He's a rustic god. He's a rustic spirit. He loves rustic food too. So, when you think about that. Pon would even like pizza. Pancakes, because of the, just think of it, Pon cakes. I've given him Pon pancakes and called them cakes of Pon. You know, get some that syrup, maybe put some whipped cream, make it real fun, or you can make it really like grainy, like 9 grain, or just pancakes in general is also good. Pancakes, I forgot that. Pizza, mmm, that's fun food. So he cares for the livestock, you know, where you need your wool and your milk from. He cares for your pets. He cares for the wild animals. So I'm trying to get this out. Okay, here we are. Sorry when I'm talking to you. Oh, let me get the, come on. Pagan Portals. It's by Pagan Portals. It's called Pan, the Dark Lord of the Forest and Horn God of the Witches, by Melusine Draco. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. But you can get that off Amazon. And I'm looking for another book. Oh, for God's sakes, work. Here we go. See if I can find it. Oh, there's another one, Pawn. I can't. There's a Pawn devotional book, and I'm literally looking it up. Lord of Arcadia. Maybe it's Lord of Arcadia. Please, I hope I'm not losing your attention. I probably am, and I can't find it. I don't know if it's out anymore. It used to be on Kindle Unlimited. Maybe it's out of print. But it was a devotional. A nice devotional to Pawn. Maybe I do own it. Let me look this up. Yes. Yes, here it is. Cool. Out of Arcadia. A devotional anthology in honor of Pan by Bibliotheca Alexandria. So that's another book that you may want to get. Those two books, I do recommend it. And yes, it's pounds. I own it. I forgot about this book. Can you believe it? My God. So let me try to find that poem that Crowley wrote. Here we are. Hymn to Pan. Okay. Thrill with lissome lust of the light. O man, my man, come careening out of the night of Pan, Eopan. Eopan, Eopan, come over the sea from Sicily, from Arcady, roaming as Bacchus with fauns and pards, and nymphs and satyrs for thy guards, on a milk-white ass, come over the sea, to me, come with Apollo in bridal dress, shepherdess and pythoness, come with Artemis silken shod, and wash thy white thigh, beautiful God, in the moon of the woods, on the marble mount, the dimpled dawn of the amber fount, dip the purple of passionate prayer, in the crimson shrine the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in eyes of blue, to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bole of the living tree that is spirit and soul and body and brain, come over the sea. Eopan, Eopon, devil or god, to me, my man, my man. Come with trumpets sounding shrill over the hill. Come with drums low muttering from the spring. Come with flute and come with pipe. Am I not ripe? I, who wait and writhe and wrestle with air that hath no boughs to nestle, my body weary of empty clasps, strong as a lion and sharp as an ass. Come, oh come, I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter, all devourer, all begetter. Give me the sign of the open eye, and the token erect of thorny thigh, and the word of madness and mystery. O Pawn, Eopon, 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 Pawn, I am a man. Do as thou wilt, as a great god can. O Pawn, Eopon, Eopon, Pawn. I am awake in the grip of the snake. The eagle slashes with beak and claw. The gods withdraw, the great beasts come. Eopon, I am born to death on the horn of the unicorn. I am Pawn. Eopon, Pawn. I am thy mate, I am thy man, goat of thy flock. I am gold, I am God, flesh to thy bone, flower to thy rod. With hooves of steel I race on the rocks, through solstice stubborn to equinox, and I rave, and I rape, and I rip, and I rend, everlasting world without end. Mannequin, maiden, Maenad man, in the might of Pawn. Eopon. Really? Eopon! Pawn! Eopon! My cat jumped on the book. That's why I said, really? Joker. And there was also a story saying the great god Pawn was dead. That may have been a mistranslation and misunderstanding of the person who heard the people say the great god Pawn was dead, or was it his ultimate joke? For Pawn likes to play some fucked up jokes. And that he heard women laminating over Pawn. And it may have been talking about the story of the Muzi or Tammuz being dead, where the women were laminating over it. So it was in the first century CE, a passing ship headed to Italy, I believe it was Italy or Greece, heard the cry, the great god Pawn is dead. The source of this voice was never discovered. But Pawn's ultimate trick, Pawn is not dead. Even when paganism was outlawed, people still went to his grottos, went to the groves, went to the caves. Even when the temples were closed, and they shouted, Eopon, Eopon, Eopon. Hail Pawn. Pawn is not dead. And Pawn does like to play a good joke on people. He loves to trick people. So sorry about the Joker jumping on the book when I'm trying to read. What? Hey, cats like to have fun, and Pawn likes to play his tricks. Pawn loves to play tricks. If you want to play a trick on someone, you can ask Pawn, hey, go mess with them. Yes, Pawn can be used for cursing. Very much. So anyways, keep Loki in your prayers and your spells. Do light candles for him. Call upon the gods and goddesses. I want him better. I want this antibiotic to work. I was such a nervous ninny. I was in tears seeing him going in and out of the litter box, like sometimes twice in 1 minute, and then coming out licking himself. And I had to watch him and see if he's actually peeing, which he was, but it was coming out in dribbles. And I know, it's UTI, so he's on antibiotics. And hopefully he doesn't have to go for another antibiotic, or, he was born September 2nd last year. So he's a Virgo. He'll be 2 years old this September 2nd. So, yeah, I don't have a Patreon account. So if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you really like it and you really want to make me happy, since I don't have a Patreon account, please subscribe so you never miss a video, and that I know I'm doing a good job and my channel grows, so I can keep giving you these wonderful videos for free. I don't charge. Anyone would tell you that. So, and yes, Pond likes the smell of pot. I forgot that. Pond likes pot. He likes pot. He enjoys pot. So smoke a doobie with Pond, Invite him, say, light your bongs to him, and, it's another thing, pot, hemp, CBD, well, especially THC, actually. THC. He loves THC. He likes THC more than the CBD, a lot more. He likes the THC. Let's face it. He likes getting drunk and stoned. Okay? He likes to eat. So, yeah. And remember, there is a dark side to Pond. He does have a dark side to him. So he can be used for cursing. I know Z Budapest in her books really looked up to him and really liked him. She even has like a chapter in one of her books. I think it's, let me go get it. Sorry guys, if I can actually reach it. If I can't reach it, I'm not going to be climbing for it. Sorry, I don't think I can reach it. It's in one of her books I have. It might be in her book, A Woman's Mystery, but I can't reach it. Sorry guys, I'm not about to get a ladder right now. It's all the way up in my bookshelf. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and as always, blessed be.